Hello everyone, I hope you're very well. Here's Daniel from Chai Tea House. I'm very pleased to make this video to present you the 70s we've added in the Maze subscription box, the Tea Road box. Hope you're enjoying the spring and all the new flowers coming out. It's the perfect time to smell and be curious about everything that is sprouting from nature. So maybe if you feel like re-smelling lilac, you might think you know, and apple blossom or other tulips and other flowers like this, and um, just a bit like a child that will smell for the first time. So all those smells will just add to your memory bank, olfactive bank. So when you taste teas afterwards, you'll have even more vocabulary or be more confident in your impressions. So that's something many people are asking me, and this time of the year I'm just thinking about it, and that's why I just start with that, and that's the perfect time for that. So hope you're healthy also, and that you're just super excited to taste these teas. You might just have received your box when you watch this video, or if you sneaked it before, it's a kind of a reveal in advance for you. So we were super excited because now the new harvests are just being, at the moment you hear these words, the picking is going on since end of March in China. The big boom of all the green teas started and all that, and people are really eager to that we receive the teas. So many are on the way, and you have here the two first batch that we'll carry in the shop from the 2021 harvest. Last month you had the BR black tea that was more like a Assam style. Now you really feel the spring with these two new Darjeelings. So we've just received, was really stressed because just before making the box was watching the tracking follow up on the for the DHL box that was stuck a bit in New Delhi with all the COVID cases over there. It's really unfortunate. Over there, like, I'm so I know all the limitations since the pandemic, how things are getting to us very slowly because there's less air freight. So I was really hopeful that it would arrive on time for you too, so I can put it in the May box, and it happened. So we just received the Darjeeling Rohini and Darjeeling Gopaldhara. So I'll just talk about these right now. So the Rohini we have already on our website. We just added it last week when it arrived. It's the 17th batch, so DJ 17, the 17th batch of this garden, Rohini. And the name of that lot is Clonal Delight. So it's a bit like for wine, they will give the names to the cuvée, and in Rohini they give this this batch, Clonal Delight, which is from one section of the tea garden with that type of AV2 tea bush. So here we don't, this spring we didn't choose Darjeelings that are really strong, what we call China bush, which are direct descendant from the Chinese tea bush that Englishmen planted a while ago in Darjeeling. So those are clonal, so it's hybrids that are more mellow, more aromatic, more flexible at the level of the tannins. And the Rohini is really balanced. This year is probably the best Rohini I had, in the sense that it's really fruity, floral, and herbaceous notes are really well balanced. So the fruit you really taste like the peach or nectarine, or apricot, that style of yellow fruit, a bit of passion fruit too, I discovered, so really yellow color fruits. You have herbaceous, is more like cedar or fir, and that kind of dry herbs that you find in most first flush Darjeeling. And the floral is subtle but still there, so you have really like the flowers, white flower sap feeling to it, like the nectar, and it's really a good Darjeeling that I'm really happy to have found. Rohini and Gopaldhara are the same family. Mr. Saria is the owner, and so it's a bit like in Bordeaux. You can have one person can own different vineyard. So they have the two, Rohini and Gopaldhara. Rohini is a bit lower in altitude, and the Gopaldhara is higher. So higher end teas coming from Gopaldhara normally, and this one, the DG1 from Gopaldhara, is called Wonder Tea. So it's Wonder Tea is the they really made their name. Gopaldhara made his name with the Wonder Tea cuvée, would say, a while ago, many years ago. That was really special at the end. Now, many tea gardens are doing clonal that way, but I really have always liked that Gopaldhara Wonder Tea style, which is really chocolatey to me. It's a bit like pastry-ish, so you feel like almost like when you open a chocolate bar, a milk chocolate bar, you smell the paper. It smells like the sweet lactic feeling to it, and sweetness and chocolate powder, cacao powder, and you have that fruitiness also from first flush with floral that is there, but it's really like the pastry. And this is a higher end Darjeeling. It will come, so I wanted you to taste it first. So you have like the priority member of the tea club family by being a subscriber, and afterwards mid-May it will probably join the website, as there's a few kilos afterwards that are left. So if you really enjoyed this Darjeeling, Rohini will be there for all year, and the Gopaldhara, there's a bit left for people to buy it too, online and at the shop. And so those two teas are really, you can brew them once. It's not a Gaiwan thing. It's not a Gongfucha style tea. You really make it like in a larger teapot, one brew, a really good one, and just watch the temperature of the water. It's a black tea, but you want to reduce the temperature to at least 90. You can brew it as if it was a green tea. It will bring out more sweetness, less tannins, so it can be 80, 85. You can make some experiments. You have enough in the bag to make some experiments, to just play with it a bit, and hope you'll enjoy them. So please tell me if you enjoyed them. If it's your first time having Darjeeling First Flush, you'll see, wow, that's pretty green as a black tea, but it's really light and more on the herbaceous side. And the second flush that will be coming this summer, so it's June harvest, May and June harvest normally, so it will be more what you expect of a black tea. And if you are first flush lovers, well, you'll be able to enjoy freshness before everyone. So enjoy. As green teas, we added 2 green teas in this month's box from Japan. So these are last year's harvest that have been kept in the freezer, vacuum sealed, so as if nothing happened. So it's really fresh still, because we're waiting, like this week, we're waiting for a new green tea and a new matcha to be added, and then all the big bunch of Japanese green teas will arrive mid-May to beginning of June. So that's the big boost of I'm tasting samples now, so they're on the way. It's really, so I know that many people are saying, your website, there's so many out of stock items. Yeah, yeah, we made a good job. So we just finish all the last year crop, most of them. So when the new one comes in, you'll have really fresh stuff. So I'm not trying to keep things from a long time. So that's the part of the deal as a tea importer, to always to be really transparent about what is new, just arrived and was from last year. So green teas, we always try to finish the batch before the new one comes in. So Bocha Karigane in two versions. Bocha Karigane, we know it also in Japan to be known as green kukicha or shiaore, and it's kind of confusing, but we called it Bocha Karigane as it's quite common to see it like that. So bocha is twig tea, and it's a result of sorting. So after, when you make the harvest by machine, it's cutted, the young shoot is cutted like this. It goes through transformation, and then at the final, it's separated into diverse grade of leaf. So the stem goes on one side, and the first leaf on another one, and the tender and a bit larger leaf are separated like this. And then they can be reblended. And kuchicha or Bocha Karigane, it's that way. It's the young, fresh twig, so the tender part of the twig mixed with some leaves. And it's kind of underestimated. I think it's an underdog in the world of Japanese green tea because it's quite fun, actually. It's lower in caffeine because the twig has no caffeine or almost none. And the leaf still really, it's a young, fresh spring leaf. So it's quite aromatic, mellower, sweeter, I would say rounder. It can sustain overbrew without becoming too bitter. And it's kind of, this one is made from, is that Bocha Karigane classic like this. It's in our lineup, a regular lineup. It comes from Kirishima, southern Japan. It's made by the Hayashi family, and those farmers, we love them so much. They make also the Asatsuyu, then the Okuyutaka, and Kadaya Midori, and the Ujicha you might have received in last month's box. So it's not like other Karigane we feel that are mostly common in Japan, are more toasted. So you have more like the crispy corn feeling to it, and chicken broth, and yeah, that's about it, you know. This one is really fresh, is really a bit like when I was young, I was eating some grass. You just eat the white part at the root of at the bottom of the grass blade, and it's kind of a bit sweet and a bit like the sap of a plant. It's a bit flowery. It's also marine a bit because you feel the ocean is there. And I really, to me, it's like really spring-like feeling to the regular Bocha Karigane like this. So, and it's to be compared with the Bocha Kabuse Kuradashi. So it has been matured 3 to 4 months last summer in clay jars in cool area. So if you had the Gyokuro Kuradashi a few months ago in the tea rose box, it's the same but from a bocha, same tea makers. And this one was a real surprise. That was bought only for you guys because we wanted to show you that something else from what we have in our lineup. It's people liked the Gyokuro Kuradashi so much that we just included it in our regular lineup now. We still have some. This one won't be there if you look for it. That's only for you. And that was a really nice surprise, actually. It's really complex and really deep for a bocha, to my sense. It's not as a just simple Karigane, you know. So this one is from shaded trees, so that will amplify the complexity for sure. And also it's really tasty. So you have really that kind of mixed fruity florals that is really nice. And the grassy part is so mellow and round and tasty. It feels like really sweet juice, you know. So I hope you'll enjoy that too. So this one a bit lower in temperature if you want to brew it. To my sense, that's the best way. So 70 degree. The other one can be up to 80 Celsius. And yeah, different place. This one from Uji, the other one from southern Japan on Kyushu Island. Different tea varietals and shaded versus full sun. That kind of a nice thing to compare those two together. They're really different, yet they're cousins, and I think that can be a really nice experiment. So hope you will enjoy. You can rebrew at least a second time if you have a Kyushu teapot or a Kuradashi or any small teapot. You don't want too large for them, so you'll concentrate the aromas a better way like that. Yeah, that's for the green teas we've included in this box. Now, we've put the king of the oolong, Da Hong Pao. So we have two Da Hong Pao. Da Hong Pao is probably the best known oolong in China, from China. Maybe except Tiguanyin. But Da Hong Pao is known as the king of oolong. And why is that? Wuyi Mountains in the north of Fujian. There's Wuyi-san that I've discussed before about that because we've put some in December, I believe. There was the Shuijingui and the Shuixian that are two cultivars that are grown in this area where there's very special mineral. It's a natural reserve with really special mineral, like huge rocks. There's tea plants growing all between them and over them too, and it's probably the most beautiful place I've seen in my whole life. When I was there, I was astonished by the beauty of the scenery there. And there's tea everywhere, so for a geek like me, it was just perfect. And there's many varietals. So Yancha oolong, rock oolong, it's called. We have several of them at the shop. And Da Hong Pao is known to be, it's not necessarily my favorite, but it's known to be the favorite. And there's a legend about it, and that makes the red robe that comes from a prince that was, his mother was saved by the brew of this tea bush, and so he gave his robe to the bush to protect him from the winter and to thank him. So in a way, the red robe in China means like, it's like the crown. So it's kind of, he made that tea plant like noble, would say. And it's also probably one of the teas in China that is the most forged, falsified. So there's many fake Da Hong Paos and blended and cutted with other tea bush, and so those two are pure Chidan Da Hong Pao, which are unblended, versus the commodity Da Hong Pao that is more like there's some Rugui and Shuixian mixed with it, and still good. It's a blend. It can be good, like for coffee, but here we want the real thing to compare the real thing. So we've put the grade 1 Da Hong Pao that we just received, but I felt so much inclined to put it for you that it's almost finished. Maybe by the time you watch this video, the grade 1 Da Hong Pao on our website will be out of stock, but I'll try to buy more. And I have other things to buy from Mrs. Chen, so I might just order more. And this one is super fun. Compared to the Da Hong Pao, the basic Da Hong Pao we have in our selection, that is really fun too. It's more roasted, deeper roasted, so it makes more like raspberry jam and cranberry and almost like coffee or chocolate to it. It's a bit deeper roasted. This one is a medium roast, so we feel more like the flour still coming out. You have like nougat and honey and dulce de leche. It's really sweet and balanced to me. I think this one, it's really fun. Like, it's one of the good Da Hong Pao I had in my life. So it comes from inside the Wuyi Mountains, not outside, which is still okay, but like the AOC, the appellation of origin, is a bit like wider and a bit like Petit Chablis versus real Grand Cru Chablis. So this comes from the middle of the place where it's all started. And you can brew it many times, and please compare it to the aged Da Hong Pao we've included. So this 14 years old Da Hong Pao is really special. It's a grade that we could not afford to buy as a new crop now because it's super expensive. I just bought it for you to experiment this and to really feel what an aged oolong can be like. There's less and less aged oolong, real aged oolong now these days. They're really, really precious. And this is a grade that is from also the middle of the mountains. It's a Chidan, and the way you feel the minerality in it, like you really feel like the rock, like if you just suck on a rock, you put a rock in your mouth, you'll feel like it's not necessarily saltiness, but you feel the minerals, you feel it in there. And you feel also the aging process, which is to rebake, to re-roast the tea every 3-4 years. So it was re-roasted many times since 14 years during the preservation process to make it drier. So if humidity comes in the leaf, you just want it to rebake it to dehydrate it again. And this process makes it that note of, I was just thinking how to tell you how to perceive it. It's really fruit, like a jam, like a concentrated fruit, like plum a bit, or berries, but like dry berries, and old wood furniture. You have like exotic wood and some leather to it. So that's a really, really good example of what an aged oolong that was re-toasted many times is supposed to taste. And I think it's a really good example. This tea can probably be kept like 20 years again, so you can just have a few, and don't, when you'll brew it, think that you could rebrew it many times, like 10 times. It's fine. It's really super generous. Good teas like that, you can rebrew them many times, and there's a lot of juice in them. And also think that you don't put just a bit of leaf, like be generous, because the concentration, you'll just enjoy like the ratio being smaller, like having more leaf versus water. You'll just really benefit from all the spectrum of aroma that can be present in this type of tea. So appreciate it with your whole heart, because that's only what's left, and it's a really specialty. And yeah, it's Gongfucha Gaiwan, if possible. That was the smallest vessel you have to brew it, to concentrate it more. So if you do like if you follow the label, that's for a teapot, like a larger size teapot. If you do smaller, just go intuitively, but it would be probably like if you do 5 grams in a small teapot or a gaiwan, 5 grams will make kind of 2 teaspoons or 3 teaspoons, like medium teaspoon. Time would be probably 20 seconds for the first 3 brews, and then you add a bit more time each time. So it never goes bad. It's just maybe if you overbrew it, it will be concentrated, but it won't become bad. And enjoy it. Just enjoy it. So another age to finish. What's included in this box is the 2009 Xiang pour we just received, and will become available on the website soon, probably just after I know you receive your box. So this pour is a really also good example of what earthiness, but more like clayness, like the minerality of a good choux pour, which is not as common. So this is not a Grand Cru or a super aged vintage, or it's 2009, but it's an honest choux pour without too much defect. You won't have the stinky animal fur or wool, wet wool or something. It's really clean. It's really mineral. So you really feel like if you think of cement or just like a slab of if you just build your house and you feel or basement, you have that kind of minerality, freshness from it also. and it's really balanced. So you have a good sweetness, a good body also, and it's pretty balanced. Not too acidic also, so it's really alkaline, it's really soothing, really digestive. So that was aged in Guangzhou at my friends, and you can just enjoy it. Gaiwan or large teapot. That's a really simple, no too. It's a mid-range show pour loose leaf. So grade 3 is the size of the leaf. So if you say grade 1 is Gongting, super small, and 10 is large leaf. This is a middle, so 3 to 5 would say. They say 3 when they sold it to me, but I think it's more 3-4 would say for the size of the leaf. So it is pretty reinfusable also. So you can even brew it the day after, and after a few brew, and you keep the leaves not soaking in water, and you just can rebrew a second time easily. So boiling water for sure, and you just do a quick rinse. All the other teas you don't need to rinse if you want for the aged oolong, but it's not as I would not do it myself. Just enjoy all the flavor of what happened to it. The pour is kind of important to rinse, just for the yeast, and the aging process was a bit more aerobic, so there's more. It's more open, so the Hong Pao was sealed, so it's less prone to have other things coming in the tea. Yeah. So hope you'll enjoy all these. We'll continue to work super hard to find you. The next months of the tea road are really exciting, because all the new crops are coming, like Longjings are on the way, and Yuan Guapian and Taiping Ukui, and different oolongs, and black tea from Taiwan. And so the big bunch of teas will arrive until the end of June, July, and you'll see them pop. If there's any teas that on the website that are not there yet, well, others are popping up like this, becoming available. Just put your email on the product, and you'll receive a quick notification that it's back in stock. We won't send you newsletters and all those things. It's not for that. It's just to be reminded when the tea comes in. And people are asking me questions also. Are we open? Yes. Is people from the other side of the border in Ottawa, can they receive their tea if they order from us? Yes, it's Canada Post, so no problem for that. Also, many other questions are asked about the new crops. Yeah, I told that. Also about people having too much tea from the subscription. Don't panic about having too much tea, because those are small quantities, and you can they are good for many months to come. If there's one that you would be more aware of the freshness being lost, it's the Japanese green teas. All the other ones, green teas in general, but Japanese green tea a bit more, all the other teas are easily able to keep very well for a year or even 18 months, so no stress with that. You can even classify it. Some people told me that they received they're at the 7th month now. They classify the big box with oolongs all together, pour all together, the white teas together, and they just feel like a bit like going to a wine cellar, just coming down. Oh, I feel like oolong today. Okay, I'll check my oolongs, and they're really easy to just put in a counter or in a tiroir, just kind of in a folder, you can just come, oh yeah, oh yes, the oolong, this type. So that can be fun. And if you want to skip a month, or no worries, no problem. I understand that totally, but don't panic too much about having too many tea. If you had 100 grams of each of them, yeah, that would be kind of okay, I need to go through them, but with 15 grams, 20 grams, 25 grams at the maximum in these boxes, so it's pretty easy to, and no worries about that. If you have any questions, any concerns, any you need recommendations, you go on a website and you don't find what you're looking for, a tea that you might have liked and you want to buy other, just email me, info@chai.ca, or by messenger, on Instagram or Facebook at Maison Chai, or you can even phone us 819-205-1830. It will be a pleasure to answer back as quickly as possible and get your feedback, get your questions and feelings. And we have a live Facebook coming on Sunday, May 16th at 11 a.m. You're most welcome. It's mostly held in French, but please feel free. I really, really want you to feel included in that. And just feel free. I'll just switch the best I can and try to speak slowly also. I'll try, promise. So thank you so much. Enjoy the spring, enjoy the teas, and looking forward to talk with you soon and share with you soon. If you come to the shop, we're open. Otherwise, we'll just communicate the best. As we know, everyone's safe and well hydrated with good tea and caffeine and all the goodies from the tea. We're happy. So talk to you soon, and thank you. Bye.